Unemployed and Afraid acknowledges the traditional owners of the land we have recorded this episode on and of the land where you, the listener, are tuning in from. We would like to pay our respects to elders past, present, and extend our respect to any First Nations, Aboriginal, and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today, acknowledging that this always was and always will be Aboriginal land.
Welcome to Unemployed and Afraid, a podcast that explores the messy middle of being out on your own and starting over with the people who've done it. I'm your host, Kim Curtin. Thank you for being here. Let's get into today's story of starting over.
Welcome back to another episode of Unemployed and Afraid, where we get to hear some epic stories of starting over and trying new things to inspire you on your own journey of chasing whatever it is that lights you up. In today's episode, I'm chatting with two awesome chicks, they're sisters, who backed themselves to follow their dreams in what is a pretty tough industry, gym ownership. COVID aside, it's a challenging and competitive industry. Of course, there's a lot of big chain brands out there looking to own the exercise market, and it could be something that might put you off starting your own thing despite having a passion for it. Which is why I absolutely love that these impressive women and their third business partner, Ed, are trusting their instincts, learning as they go, and providing the very thing that so many people in their community need, the opportunities to push your body and your mind to grow and feel good. It's a brilliant example of why you should always go for whatever it is that brings you joy, to just start wherever you are and let the journey keep guiding you. I think it's think big and act local. Is that the same? Anyway, in this chat, we talk all about their experience of going from outside boot camps to a brick-and-mortar gym, fitness retreats, and their brand new partnership and holistic wellness offering, all while raising a young family for Beck and casually smashing world records for Lou. I mean, epic. They're doing things their way and as a family, which of course includes fur babies, who get a special mention in this episode with some background woofing in one part. So bear with us for that bit. It's the beauty of working from home that we all know far too well. As always, if you love these stories, please consider dropping a review or a star rating wherever you're listening. And come and connect with me on the socials at Unemployed and Afraid on Insta and on Facebook, where we're starting a tight little community to share more about the stories of starting over. Okay, that's enough prattling from me. Here is my chat with Beck and Lou from Hype Gym.
I'm joined by not one, but two absolute legends today. They're business partners and sisters from South Arm in Tasmania, Beck Burns and Lou Robertson. This fabulous pair know all too well the challenges and emotions you face in starting something new. A few years back, they took a risk to quit their jobs and create their own gym named BroFit, which I suspect has a pretty fun story behind it, evolving it from small outdoor boot camps to a brick and mortar residence with over 100 members. They kept evolving BroFit, creating incredible fitness retreats across Tasmania that aren't just about getting physically fit. They're an opportunity to reconnect to your body and mind, conquer your fears, and remind yourself of how capable you are. And they're not finished. They've recently teamed up with a third partner to rebrand into Hype Gym, the next stage of their gutsy business journey. These girls are a formidable team. Beck, a mum to 3 mini humans, which makes me exhausted just thinking about it. And Lou, a Guinness World Record holder for the most burpees in a 24-hour period. We're going to have to talk about that because my body just hurts thinking about that. Beck and Lou, I can't wait to hear all about your journey in starting over and carving your own way in this world. Welcome to Unemployed and Afraid.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
It's so nice to have you guys. We were saying before we hit record, you've got a beautiful background there. It's all light and bright, whereas I'm in like an empty room at the moment as I move house. So thank you for giving me something fabulous to look at. So I have a little icebreaker question for you guys, which you can answer together. How do you think your parents would describe each of you?
I think I'd be the favourite.
Oh, yeah, she's got the kids, so yeah, I agree.
Lou would be the one that has always worried them, the daredevil, the crazy second child, the young one that's just on the go. And I think I'm the more calm, sensible one.
Yeah, I think they're very grateful for Beck because without her, I probably wouldn't be around. she's my life admin, she's my everything.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm the youngest as well, and I actually would say I think my parents would also say I'm the one that they had to worry about. So yeah, I can relate to that. What was your childhood like together?
It was awesome childhood. We were very lucky to have a really, really great upbringing. We are best friends now, but we used to be crazy sibling fighting, like physical, emotional. Lou would beat the shit out of me. But heaps of fun. Still really, really close. So it's only 2 years apart. But yeah, just the normal growing up sisters, the jealousy, the fighting over the things.
Who got the poster in the magazine? Remember those days?
Oh yeah. What were the posters on your walls?
Hanson.
Yeah, Hanson.
We had a dance club and you had to give us a poster to be able to enter.
Oh my gosh, I think I might have had the same poster. And in early days when I was working in radio in Adelaide, they actually came into the office at a radio session. They were doing like oh my God, I don't even know how many decade reunion, or some sort of reunion tour, and they came in and I got a photo with them. So I'm going to share that with you because I was like, giggly all day. It was the best thing ever. So when did you guys start to become friends?
When we were in, my first year of high school and Beck's last year of high school, I think. I joined into MacKillop College and that was her exiting year. And then I think her friends liked me. So I don't think she really had a choice but to start liking me. And then I think we just started hanging out a little bit more rather than just at either ends of the day because of the different school years.
Yeah, probably for me, early teenager.
And so take me way back before your own gym was on the horizon. Who were you and what were you guys doing for work? And I say you guys because I love reading about your history and how you've done things together across the years. It's super special. So take me back to that time and what you were doing.
Well, I've done a lot of jobs, a lot of random jobs, just filling in gaps, hospitality, kind of always had my toes in the health and fitness industry, but not really. Yeah, did my training actually selling and hiring out fitness equipment way back when. I did a little stint at Jenny Craig, and then we're kind of just, I don't even know what I was doing at the time, but we decided to go to Western Australia for a bit of a sea change. Where we grew up in South Arm, there's a big group of us. I think there's like 14 of us kids, we call ourselves. Like we all grew up camping together and we all decided to move to Perth to chase the money, to work in the mines, have a sea change. So yeah, I went first and then a couple of months later, Lou followed.
She can't get rid of me.
And what made you want to work together back then?
So when Beck moved to Perth and we still weren't really working in the industry, when I moved over, at the time I was working in disability and loved it, but another different friend from Tassie was working in WA and offered me a job in the mines, which is not why I moved. I moved to follow her. But yeah, so I took that role in the mines and then I managed to get Beck up there as well. So we both ended up working 2 weeks away and then 1 week back in Perth. And for me, it was when I was working there up there, there's not much to do when you're in the remote mines. So I'd work all day and then start my personal training study of a night time when you're just sitting after you've gone to the gym, when you're just sitting in your little room. There's nothing much else to do. So I started my study up there. I think at that time you maybe already had yours.
Yeah, so I'd had my certificate of qualification but hadn't really used it to its full potential, and we were working together cleaning dirty miners' rooms in very, very remote Western Australia. And then we got a job at the airport up there together. So that was pretty epic, marshalling big Qantas planes and doing all the airport related jobs, which was awesome fun, great learning curve.
I stopped working at the mines because I had some head trauma. So that was starting to flare its back up. So I actually didn't work for, I'd say, 1.5 years after working in the mines for 2 years. I was just trying to work through all of that. So then as soon as I could do that, I didn't really want to go and work back in the mines. So I got a job at an F45 in Perth, which was my first fitness related job. I was lucky enough to have some beautiful mentors with Fiona and Shane at F45 East Perth. They were super, super, super good to me at that time. So that's kind of where my foot got in the door. I think you had moved home by that stage and you were also working at an F45 in Hobart. So then when I finished in Perth and bought a house back in Tassie, moved back, I came and worked with you at the F45 in Hobart. And that's kind of when we first started working together in the industry, I think.
And when did that shift start where you thought you might like to start doing your own thing?
Well, for me, it was after I had my first baby. Everything changes, just your perspective on life. And I suppose your maybe your values a little bit and what you perceive as important kind of really shifted with that, the birth of Indy. So our parents, or dad's always worked for himself. So I've always had that in the back of my mind, like the flexibility that he had for us when we were growing up, to be able to take off the school holidays and go camping every year at Christmas and, you know, be there if we needed him. So I think that was also kind of a bit of a push for me.
And for me, the flexibility, not having to, kind of running your own ship, being able to program exactly how you want to program, take time off when you want to program. I feel like I've been told several times that I can do it, and I had the ability to do it. It was just me finding the courage and taking that leap to go, yeah, you know what, I can do it. And I've always wanted to do that. It's just, you know, you've got to fill in the steps before you take the big leap. So I think once Beck was kind of ready, that was enough for me to be like, yeah, me too, let's do it.
It's a scary moment, isn't it, to take it from fantasy into reality. What were your first few steps, you know, right back before you'd even quit your jobs? Where did you get started?
We just put the word out just on Facebook, really, and just friends of friends. We're lucky. Tassie's awesome for everybody knowing everyone and having that really good word of mouth. But just started with some outdoor boot camps in Lauderdale, so a little town just up the road from us. Just by the beach, and that was where we first started. I think we just one January just put like a block of classes up, $10 per person, open to everyone, and people came.
Yeah, I think it was just super organic, and we didn't spend any money in marketing or advertising because we didn't have any money to put behind it. We'd just taken that step, so it was just like, okay, let's just start and do one or two, and then one or two people will come and they'll tell one or two more people. And we're just very fortunate that it did happen that way, which for some I know it doesn't. So yeah, very grateful for the beautiful tight Tassie community to follow us and be loyal to us and follow us along.
Yeah, the Tassie community is very special, isn't it? It's like nowhere else. After living in 4 states, I think I'm up to now, I say it is. It's very different and very community focused, which is wonderful. The name BroFit, I'd love to know where the origins of that come from and how it evolved.
I don't think it's that, I suppose it is special. I guess we're both kind of tomboys. Before Beck had kids, I don't think she'd worn the colour pink or had the colour pink in her house ever, except for if I came over. But now she's got pink everywhere. But I never really called her sis. She was just my bro. So that was kind of where it came about. I think it may have put a few people off initially because they thought it was bros only gym. It was, pretty much the total opposite.
Yeah. And when we did have that time where you were still in Perth and I'd moved home, we would share workouts and do film ourselves doing workouts, and we called it bro versus bro. Remember?
Yeah.
So because we weren't actually together, so we'd do a little online kind of back and forth of, oh, look what I can do, look what I can do. So it kind of stemmed a bit from there as well.
That's so cool. Do you still have those recordings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should put them out at a little YouTube channel. I reckon they go gangbusters. That'd be so fun. And when did you start to realize that there was something in it that you could grow?
Just the volume of people that we got at each class, and just the wanting to do our own thing was just always there. And I think we were quite surprised at how many people were signing up and coming along each week. And a lot of encouragement. We've got a lot of good family and friends that said, you guys can just do your own thing, and really believed in us from the start, which was nice.
I think just moving from, outdoors then we moved into a few halls, which was epic. And, going into the halls, being in Tassie was a game changer because it's super cold and, very weather dependent to be outside. So as soon as we got inside, that was another step up. And then, but it's, okay, we're inside, we can have some gear now, but we need to cut that in our cars. And that got back and forth, up and down, from where we lived to where we would host our boot camps got a little bit taxing and a little bit, over it, having to just have it in our car all the time. Our cars weren't really set up for that. And then at the time, there was a beautiful guy that owned a pre-packaged meal company that was working out of the same hall. There was a commercial kitchen in there. You know, we'd see him every other day, and he actually started sponsoring me through one of my burpee world record campaigns, and he was taking his business to the next level. He'd see us in there every day and saw potential, so he actually offered for us to, if we wanted to go in and sublet one of the spaces where he was going to build a little cafe. So after saying no about 10 times, we eventually said yes. And then that became actual the BroFit, the gym.
Wow. And what made you say no the first few times?
It was just scary, just because then
The overheads, I guess,
Yeah.
initially.
we really started with zero money. Like, I think we really started with nothing. We just had, like, even our gear, it was just secondhand gear that we'd had for years and all mismatched random assortment of stuff. I think at the time my husband was doing his apprenticeship, so money, we just had our first baby, come off maternity leave, so for me very financial, like scary, like no, we can't, this is the next level, we're going to have big bills to pay and rent to pay, and just maybe still, even though we had lots of support, still just not really backing ourselves, we weren't quite there yet.
Yeah, I think the big one, we were just like, saw how much we were paying for the hall, like $10 an hour, and then how much the overheads were for a week in an actual building was a huge difference. So we were, trying to crunch numbers and being a boot camp and, starting off at $10 per person. Okay, cool, we're going to have to change their prices dramatically to cover that. And where do our values sit? Because we never really wanted to be, charge people an arm and a leg to come and actually move their bodies, because we feel like it's super important. So we don't want to feel like it's only for the people that have the money as such. So yeah, we just had to crunch some numbers, I think, and find out how we'd make it work. And eventually we bit the bullet.
Did you have any support over that period in doing the number crunching? And I ask this, it's not a strong suit of mine, number crunching or forward planning or anything financial planning is not a strong suit of mine. So I'm interested in it. Did you have someone come in and help you crunch those numbers, or did you kind of just work your way through it as best you could?
We just muddled our way through it.
And by we, she means she.
Quite early on, we kind of took over the roles of Lou as the trainer and I was more the admin behind the scenes person. And just totally winged it. Like, I'd never even used an Excel spreadsheet, and I still don't even really know how to use it properly. Like, really just learning day by day, week by week. We've got lots of people we can ask for advice.
Awesome accountant.
Really good accountant.
And her daughter is my best friend, and she's amazing at spreadsheets and organising and just being another voice to listen to the question, to like, am I reading this how you are? Am I seeing it how you're seeing it? Mum does the books for Dad's business, so she was really helpful. Like, no one in particular, or we didn't employ someone to do that, but I guess just super grateful to have the people that we did to ask those few questions.
And what did you feel like was the steepest learning curve as you started to edge into that next step? What was the thing that sort of stopped you the most?
Just learning to communicate, like, in the business world a little bit, like having to deal with suppliers of gear, and then our amazing people that were subletting the room off, like learning all of those skills and
contracts and
just more like the proper adult business stuff.
It's very easy when it's just Beck and I hiring a hall. There's not much really that goes on behind the scenes besides paying a couple $100 fortnight, and carting gear back and forth. But when it's subletting and contracts and gear supplies and insurance, like more different insurance, and all that kind of stuff,
just
the logistics side of it,
the responsibility I think that comes with having an actual premises and putting yourself out there as a legit business.
And what did it feel like that first moment when you opened the doors of BroFit for the first time, the brick-and-mortar version of BroFit? What did that feel like?
Oh, it was epic.
It was pretty surreal. It got dragged on like most buildings do, which is normal. We should have expected it more than we did. I think we just got super excited, and so when we finally got in, it was a little bit surreal for me, really. And for me, the programming, getting head around programming in a real gym rather than just a couple of weights here and there and body weight movements. So, and then also working with the current clients we had, because a boot camp client sometimes is a lot different to someone that might want to go into an actual gym setting with weights that they might find daunting. So just trying to fill the gap there to try and bring those people with us and get them, keep them continuing their journey with us.
And I've always seen that you've been very family friendly in the execution, and I imagine, Beck, that comes a lot from you having your own young family as well. But I've seen that you invite your members and the children in, and you have a daycare option, I think. Is that something that was a big part of your business setup, making that accessible?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, because when we started, Indy was only one, and she would come with me more often than not to work and just get dragged around. And so we quite quickly made sure we always had a little area where the kids would be safe and they could sit and play while the mums worked out, because it's all the dads and it's because it's just so important. It's really hard. Well, I know the feeling of wanting to move and needing to move, but then having a little one hanging off your leg. So we really made sure that anybody could come, no matter how many kids they've got, what ages. And Auntie Lou's the best auntie in the world, and all the kids love her. So she's really good at wrangling all the kids while the mums can have that 45 minutes to themselves. It's been really important and really a big thing for us to make sure that we've always provided that space, so the mums can feel like they can come no matter what.
And I imagine, you've gone into this huge brick and mortar offering, and it's a big deal, a big change already. And then I'm not sure the timeline, but the fitness retreats, so BroFit retreats, when did they start coming up for you? I would love to know what the logistical task side of that was like.
It was 2018. Thank you to Facebook Memories for reminding me of that. Otherwise I forget. And I remember we were sitting at Mum's house on the beach in South Arm and talking about, because Lou and I had both done fitness retreats overseas and just absolutely loved them and got so much out of them. And we were just, I think we're just having a conversation and just saying, there's nothing really like that in Tassie. There's obviously yoga retreats and things like that, but nothing with the high fitness side of it.
And trying to make it accessible and affordable for everyone, for most, rather than just, again, that high-end person that can do most things that they want to do. So we just thought, let's do it here, because Tassie's beautiful and we feel pretty lucky to have explored a lot of Tassie and know some beautiful places to go and things like that. So it started stemming from there, I think.
Yeah, we just put the word out to friends and family, and I think within 2 weeks we'd sold out the first one. We just picked a date and said, all right, let's do it. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, we need to organise all that stuff now.
Yeah. That's so brilliant. And I love that you've just thrown yourself into that. It's, so many of us think about the kind of business we might want to create and go straight to the end goal and then, sort of try to work back from there, which can be super paralyzing. I'm definitely guilty of that myself. But I love that you've just gone, do you know what? Yeah, well, let's just start some boot camps. We'll just get it going, roll with it, and just kind of let things evolve, and then into the gym, into the retreats. It's really an admirable way to do it. But I imagine it was pretty scary at times as well.
It's probably not the smartest way, but we've managed to pull it off so far. So
that's basically how I've lived my whole life. So I totally understand. Just follow an instinct and see how you go with it. And we talked about it a little bit in my intro to you. But the third shift again is moving from BroFit into Hype Gym. So talk me through that evolution.
Well, we were always really lucky at BroFit to have Ed as one of our trainers. So he was really good employee, always helping us out, super good at what he does. He was running his own boot camp business as well on the side, and he always wanted brick and mortar, his own kind of space in his own gym. And so always we talked about it for a while, didn't we?
Yeah, the idea got thrown out there quite early on, I think, that he wanted his own space, and eventually we would need to move. The BroFit space was absolutely amazing and a great stepping stone, but there was nowhere to expand. It was an internal building, so we couldn't knock it all down and take over the next place, or there was no outdoor area. So we did always think we would have to move eventually. So I think when Ed had finally decided that he was really kind of getting ready and started crunching numbers and working out what he would have to do it himself. That was kind of, I think, the last little push that we needed to be like, okay, cool. He didn't really want to leave us and we didn't really want to leave him. So then from there, we just started having quite a few meetings with a few different people initially about how we would go about it and what kind of setup we wanted. And yeah, back and forth for quite some months and came up with the name, and were hunting for quite a while for the premises.
We've got quite a few setbacks with just dealing with the council and the logistics of opening up a new gym, and there's a lot of things like parking and things you have to factor in. So it did take us a while, and we got it was an expensive, long process, but it was a good learning curve because again, we didn't really know what we were doing. We're just like we knew what we wanted to do, so we just went for it. And yeah, it was perfect timing really, because Ed was ready, Lou was ready. I was pregnant again, and previous when I had the second baby, it was a lot of pressure on Lou because we were just the two of us, just the partnership. So she just got lumped with a lot of extra work when I was busy doing mum stuff. So it was just perfect because Ed would be that third person essentially to take on a lot of the load that I used to do, and then for him to do exactly what he wanted to do. So we were very lucky and the timing all worked out.
And you guys are, a nice tight unit, tight family, sister business. How was it welcoming somebody else into that fold?
It was good, I think. Like, we've always kind of known we've got along with Ed. It wasn't like he was brand new and we didn't know him. So I think that was kind of an easier choice rather than a random or like a silent investor or someone like that.
And he was really familiar with all of our members, our existing members, and then he also had all of his existing members. And
between you, it kind of just worked really well, to be honest. It wasn't that hard. It was more like remembering if I see Beck every other, at the gym, but then at home all the time. So we would talk about work. It was more about remembering to actually drop a line to Ed and say we've had a conversation about that, because we talk more to each other than what I would to Beck or myself to speak to Ed individually. Yeah, the main thing for me was just remembering to communicate on it with the three of us, or jot that down in our group chat. So we've all we're all across it, not just Beck or myself.
Yeah. And I think because when we were bro fit, we can just communicate without even talking. Like, we just knew each other so well. I could read if Lou was tired and grumpy. she could read if I was extra emotional or whatever it might have been. Like, so we could do the working day without even talking. We could just knew. So now there was just learning to talk to Ed and just make sure.
Yeah, being a guy, it's awesome as well. Like having a guy in the setting, which obviously BroFit sounds like a boys' gym, but it was, we had male members, but not as many as we always wanted. So just having Ed's presence there at Hype full time, that's really helped, I think, with the male side of things, which is cool.
How has it gone since it's been open, and are there any plans for next steps that are potentially floating around the horizon?
It's been going super well. And yeah, again, we haven't put any really time or too much effort into advertising. It's just been that good old Tassie word of mouth, friends of friends. Yeah, really.
We're only just getting our sign up on the mainstream, but hey, everyone knows where we're at. They know how to Google Maps.
It's been a really good transition. The vibe's really good. Everybody's so happy with the new space.
Yeah, I think as in what's coming next, with COVID and the world slowing down quite a lot, we were kind of trying to open the gym space prior to the first bout of COVID. So, all the manufacturing of all the gear was much slower and banked up. So we got some things that we wanted when we moved to Hype, but not all of the gear that we wanted. So that's kind of just now been trickling in its own time. But I think that's been nice. The members didn't get all of the new gear straight up. They've got some new things, and then they've been stoked about that, and then all of a sudden they've got some more. So it's actually, I think, worked in our favour to make the members seem like, oh, look at them, here they go, they've got more stuff and more, when we were meant to have it all at the start. But that's not the way the world works sometimes. So still, I think we've just got the last of the gear that we want for now, which is making our programming life much easier and programming exactly how we've always wanted to. There is some space upstairs. There's a loft above us. It's currently rented separately for some offices. It's another 100 square metres. So I think we really like that. We would love that to move there. Got a sauna room and recovery room out the front that's run by beautiful Sarah and Gerard. So that's called Hype Recovery. So that's in the front room. And we've also got a kitchenette and a little office. So I think eventually, in the next 5 years or so, we'd love to shift all of that stuff upstairs and open the gym floor downstairs out a little bit. But
yeah, just to have a teeny tiny bit more space to be able to really make it that one-stop shop, which is kind of always getting there. We've got awesome members with their own really, really great businesses. So we've got a prepackaged food lady, Yvonne, and then a cold pressed juice guide. So our members at the moment can order their stuff through them, but just really make it a hub. So we've got the sauna and just keep improving that side of it as well, so people can come and do their fitness, but then just get the whole package.
I think we've tossed up the idea we'd love to do a kids class, or maybe even just like, a school holiday program or something like that eventually. So yeah, I think now we're in hype. I know for me, it hasn't all been just been like saying yes to everything, do something, perfect it now, and then go again. So like we've had heaps of questions about kids classes and this and this. I'm like, you can't offer the world and do it well. So for me, it's like, okay, let's just do this next 6-week block in our programming, nail it, and then I can think about maybe doing that, where it's going to fit in best and whatnot. So just slowing down a little bit and not just saying yes to all the things. We just want to really do it properly and do it well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's a tough industry you guys are in, and I imagine there could be some people listening or just people out there that love the fitness industry, love sharing fitness with people, that have thought about opening a gym but might have stopped themselves. There's a lot of chain gyms around, and they dominate a lot of the headspace for brand recognition and things like that. What would you say to those people about still just giving it a go and going out on your own?
If that's your passion, and if that's what you truly believe in, is exercising and staying fit and healthy and sharing the love and that community feel, and then you should just do it.
For me, I think we've done so well so far is because we do live and breathe it, and we are there on the floor. Like, Beck's, yes, doing more of the admin side, but she is still there, like every other day, training in it. Like now she's back into doing 3 days a week on the gym floor and then doing her admin in the gym rather than just being at home. So we're all there and we're all very present, and I feel like that vibe and that energy and the passion for it carries over for them to be able to see it. I feel so if they want to be that person, I feel like you will always succeed if that is what you really want to do.
Yeah, it's so true. So many of us can get put off by thinking, oh, the world doesn't need another this or another that, whatever the thing is that you might be interested in creating, whatever the business type. But when you bring that passion, that individuality and that sense of self into a business, it's so much more. It doesn't always have to be the perfectly carved out market that's been pre-planned. Well, I like to hear that anyway, because I can't possibly imagine ever thinking of anything like that. I wouldn't get anything done. Lou, I would be crazy not to ask you about these crazy world record things that you've been doing. What and why and how? I have so many questions.
I have a really bad memory, so Beck will help me fill the gaps. But I think it all stemmed from back at the time. I think we were in the halls with both it and another lady in Queensland, I believe, had just broken a burpee world record, and it was all over the media, and the poor lady, I believe, got slammed for her technique, really slammed, so I felt very sorry for her. But it was everywhere. She did this, some people were saying yay, some people were saying what the hell was that she just attempted. I was a big lover of the birthday burpee, so for your birthday, do one burpee for every year of birth when you turn up to the gym, and because I was a big believer in that, everybody used to, as a coach, everyone made me do 10 for every year of birth. And I'm not young anymore, so that's a bit harsh. So yeah, from that post, I think I got tagged over 100 times saying, you should break this record, you should try it. So I said yes. And then said yes, but then worked out how the hell I was going to do it after I said yes. But I think from her attempt, I think it's a Guinness World Record. Guinness World Records decided to put some, guidelines down, technical guidelines in how it needed to be performed to be classed as a proper rep, which is great, I think. There's no cheating it, there's no questioning it. It is, you have to hit these certain things for it to count. So yeah, I signed up to do the 60 minutes chest to ground, they then called them chest to ground burpees, most chest to ground burpees in 60 minutes. So I trained away. It was very informal training back then. I kind of just had no idea how I'd train for it, but I just kind of winged it, did what I thought I needed to do, and I did it just. Looking back now, I could have now trained totally different for it, and tried to do some more training around my adrenaline and all that stuff that came with it. But I got over the line.
We had the vibes pretty high.
Yeah, we hired a DJ for the hour, and I think I couldn't hear the crowd because the music was so loud, although the crowd was very loud. But yeah, I did it. I think now I believe it's somebody else has taken it from me, but go them. But yeah, it's always interesting to reflect, looking back. I'm like, oh my God, I totally butchered that. But I mean, at the time I still did it. So it's like anything, isn't it? Like world records that were broken years ago have been broken 100 times from now, but that person at the time was still very deserving and did the hard work then. So.
And was this you had a recent attempt as well, I think? Was there something that was in?
Yeah, so I did the 60 minutes and then I did 60 seconds. I believe that's still around. So I think that's still mine. Those chest to ground burpees in 60 seconds. So I broke that one, and then someone said, what's next? I think I was on the local radio show, Jimmy and Nathan. They were pretty larrikins, and they were like, what's next, bloody 24 hours? I was like, yeah, sure. But the whole time I have been raising money for cystic fibrosis. So I think that was a huge driver for me, seeing everyone get behind and putting money towards that. It was never about having a certificate, because I don't even have them on my walls. It was more about just challenging myself and trying to raise money and awareness. So did the 60 seconds, and then, yeah, I did sign up for the 24 hours, and I did that too.
Wow, I love how you just, I just did that. I just did that one too. Yep, no worries. It just is, it's phenomenal to see. And it's really inspiring, seeing that kind of level of commitment. I can't even tell you the last time I did a burpee. So that is like incredible. So congratulations to you in such a worthy cause. And yes, those two boys are troublemakers. Everybody in Australia gets to hear them on their radio now on the weekends. And yeah, they're a lot of fun. And Beck, I mean, you as well, how do you manage running this business, training? From what I see, I of course follow you on Instagram, and I see you training a lot with 3 tiny babies.
Yeah, it's a juggle. We've got, awesome support. Best auntie in the world sitting right next to me. And the girls have just, they haven't known any different. Yeah, it's definitely a juggle, and it's definitely been a game changer since Inc has been here. So she's 5 months now. But as I said, perfect timing, because Ed's now helping Lou doing the gym, so I can step back a little bit. But yeah, still find myself so torn, because I want to do it all. I want to be at work every day. I want to be at home every day. Like, I'm just so lucky that I love what I do. Yeah, and it's just, showing the girls early on that mummy can do a great job, and anyone can work, and mums can do it all if they want to, and if they love it. And if you love your job, then you don't really work too hard.
And how about your own relationship? How do you balance that alongside running a business together?
No, we're good. She just needs to look at this face, and she knows if don't talk to me, change the question. The building. I know.
We do talk shop most of the time when we catch up. And we catch up every day. I think Telstra would guide a business if we weren't around, because we call each other like 10 times a day.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Beck. She's on a home day, and I'm like, hey, bro, what about this? Hey, bro, did I talk to you about that? Hey, bro. Oh, hey, bro, what am I doing on the weekend? She'll just tell me it all.
But yeah, we still definitely we always make time to have time together that's not at work, not at the gym. So we still spend a lot of weekends away camping and hanging out. We've got a weekend next weekend with the fam.
We had a week last weekend.
It's awesome.
Beck knows if I call her about work and she doesn't want to talk about it, she's like, I'm busy, bye, or write it in a message, because I'm a very big one for, if I've got something on my brain, I'll just call and then tell her then, because I'll forget it, because I have a bad memory. So it's like she'll shut me down if she doesn't want to talk.
Yeah.
It's in a good way.
I think we're getting better at, I'm getting better at, if I'm at home with the girls, I can just not answer the call now, or just tell Lou straight up, no, like, I'm not doing work now, I'm doing mum stuff. And there was definitely a time when I was struggling with that, not being present at home, but then getting quite confused and wanting to help all the time with work, but then home life was suffering a bit. So I think we're kind of both good now.
Yeah, and that comes down to both Ed and I as well, not understanding the family life as such, like not having children of our own, so not going, oh, she can't just answer every beck and call. Like sometimes we've just got to be like, sorry, client, you have to wait till tomorrow for an answer for that, because we don't know. And just being super real about it, really. Like, we're not on call 24/7, which I think social media and multiple platforms to be contactable on these days sometimes make you feel like you are. So for us, I think for me, social media, like being contacted even on Snapchat about work, and then on Instagram, and then on 3 Instagram accounts, and then 2 Facebook accounts. There's a lot going on. So just trying to channel that off.
Yeah. And I think when we first started, because on all of our members, they're like our friends as well. So you do want to talk to them, you want to get back to them. But as a business now, I think we've learned that it is actually okay to make people wait a day or half a day, or we just went away on a long weekend and didn't have any phone reception for 3 days. And that's actually okay. They're not going to stop their membership because we didn't respond to them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. It takes some time to learn that, though, doesn't it? That scarcity complex in, running a small business or trying to put in place those boundaries and not quite feeling the confidence to be able to do it. I'm a classic people pleaser. So yes, we'll be thinking about their message that somebody sent me, like, oh God, in the middle of the night until I get back to it. So yeah, it sounds like you guys have learned some really good boundaries. It sounds like, keep following your intuition and what's lighting you guys up in terms of what's happening with business, and it's going to lead to something fantastic. But is there anything that the listener and I could do to support you on this journey? You guys are giving so much to the community already. What can we do for you?
Come and play on retreat with us.
Yeah, if you're in Hobart, come and try the gym. We're a big believer in come and try it, and if it's not your vibe or you don't like it, we're not going to harass you. You need to love where you're training, otherwise it'll become a task and you won't want to go. So we're not like that. Just come and try, and hopefully you want to stay. But otherwise, come and retreat. Believe in yourself and love yourself enough to give yourself a weekend away. And I think that's what the retreats are about. Like, it's not about killing you, and trust me, if you want to be killed, I can kill you for 3 days straight. That's all good. But it's more about respecting and loving yourself enough to give yourself 3 whole days to just do the things that you like, meet new people, explore, because we know we get a lot out of it when we've done it in the past, and every retreat we take people on, we get a lot out of it as well. Come and join us for some Tassie fun.
I would definitely pop all of the links to your retreats and the gym in the show notes, but can say that, yeah, you think fitness retreat and you think, oh gosh, I'm going to hurt. And although I imagine you probably do, it looks like a lot of fun. I've seen like sand dune surfing. I've seen like mud adventure courses and things like that. Yeah. Hardcore fitness in up and down hills, but then really chill yoga and then beautiful meals and games. It just looks like a lot of fun. So yeah, I think you guys are rewriting the book when it comes to fitness retreats, being more that whole mind body reset and giving yourself a nice gift. So thank you for inspiring me today. I've been sitting here with a slightly locked up back because I'm moving house, so everything is just like ow, and you're reminding me that movement is a gift and one that we should celebrate for ourselves every day. So I might have to go, maybe not some burpees, but I'll go to something today after chatting with you. It's been so lovely to chat with you guys today and hear your story of starting over from right back in the mines to where you guys are together today and where you'll still go. So thank you so much for sharing your story with me today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us. We're stoked to be asked, and it's been awesome to chat with you.
Thank you for listening to Unemployed and Afraid, the stories of starting over with your host, me, Kim Curtin. If you liked the episode and are keen to hear more, please hit the follow button and leave a review. And let's keep the conversation going on Instagram @unemployedandafraid, where there's more goodies and links to today's show notes. See you there.